What's up, my fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about something that might surprise a lot of you. You only need 0.008 Bitcoin to be significant. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why holding just a small fraction of Bitcoin could put you in a unique position in the future. If you've been in crypto for a while, you've probably heard people talking about owning a whole Bitcoin or more. But here's the thing, you don't need to be a Bitcoin whale to make a real impact. Even owning a small amount of BTC could make you part of an elite group in the future. So, we're going to break down why 0.008 Bitcoin matters, how it could grow over time, and why Bitcoin's scarcity could make even the smallest holdings significant. If that sounds like something you want to learn more about, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and let's jump right in. Alright, first things first, let's talk about Bitcoin's scarcity. You probably know that there's a hard cap on how many Bitcoins will ever be mined. 21 million. That's it. No more, no less. This is a core part of what makes Bitcoin valuable. Unlike fiat currencies that can be printed endlessly by central banks, Bitcoin has a limited supply, making it deflationary by nature. But here's where things get interesting. Of those 21 million Bitcoins, a significant portion is already lost forever. Studies suggest that anywhere between 3 to 4 million BTC are either lost in forgotten wallets, sent to unrecoverable addresses, or held by early adopters who've since passed away. That brings the circulating supply down to somewhere around 17 or 18 million BTC. When you consider the global population, about 7.9 billion people, it becomes clear that there's not enough Bitcoin to go around. If everyone wanted to own a piece of Bitcoin, we'd have a situation where owning even 0.008 Bitcoin would make you a rare holder of a significant amount of this scarce asset. Why it matters. Bitcoin's scarcity means that even small amounts will be increasingly valuable as more people want in. Holding 0.008 Bitcoin could put you in the top 1% of Bitcoin holders globally in the future. Now, let's get into the math. Why exactly are we focusing on 0.008 Bitcoin? Well, let's break it down. With only 21 million Bitcoin available and a global population of nearly 8 billion, not everyone can own one whole BTC. In fact, if you divide the 21 million total supply by the global population, the number you get is roughly 0.0026 BTC per person. So, owning even a fraction of Bitcoin puts you ahead of the curve. But if you want to be in the top 1% of holders, you need to hold around 0.008 Bitcoin or more. Let's look at it this way. 0.008 Bitcoin might not sound like much when the price is fluctuating, but as Bitcoin continues to grow in adoption and scarcity becomes more apparent, even these small amounts will become much more valuable. Imagine Bitcoin reaching a price of $500,000 or even $1 million in the future, a scenario that many experts believe is possible. At $500,000 per BTC, 0.008 BTC would be worth $4,000, and at $1 million per BTC, 0.008 BTC would be worth $8,000. Not bad for what seems like a small amount today, right? Pro tip: if you're just getting into Bitcoin, don't feel discouraged if you can't afford a whole BTC. The key is to start accumulating, even if it's in small amounts. Over time, these small amounts can grow in value and importance. One of the biggest reasons why Bitcoin's value is likely to continue rising is its role as digital gold. Just like people buy gold as a hedge against inflation, more and more people are turning to Bitcoin for the same reason. With governments printing money like crazy and inflation on the rise, Bitcoin offers a store of value that's outside of the traditional financial system. Here's why this matters for your 0.008 Bitcoin. As more people lose faith in fiat currencies and look for alternatives, the demand for Bitcoin will continue to increase. And because the supply is capped, that demand will drive up the price. In fact, we're already seeing major institutional investors and corporations adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets as a hedge against inflation. The beauty of Bitcoin is that you don't need a lot to benefit from this. Owning even a small fraction of BTC could protect your wealth over time, especially as inflation erodes the value of fiat currencies. Why it's significant? Your 0.008 Bitcoin could act as a hedge against inflation and fiat currency devaluation, preserving your purchasing power in the long run. All right, now let's talk about the global adoption of Bitcoin. We're seeing Bitcoin adoption increase at a rapid pace, not just in developed countries, but in places like El Salvador, where Bitcoin has been made legal tender. This is a major sign of where things are headed. As Bitcoin continues to gain traction globally, its demand will only increase. Whether it's through the use of Bitcoin as a form of payment, as a remittance tool, or even as a reserve asset for central banks, the potential for growth is massive. And as Bitcoin becomes more integrated into global financial systems, the price will reflect that increased utility. The fact that Bitcoin is borderless and censorship-resistant makes it the ideal tool for people in countries with unstable currencies or oppressive governments. As adoption grows in these regions, the value of Bitcoin will rise, and with it, the value of your 0.008 Bitcoin. Why it's significant? As Bitcoin adoption goes global, the value of even small amounts of BTC will increase, making your 0.008 Bitcoin a more significant asset in the global economy. One of the most important concepts in Bitcoin's growth is the network effect. The more people use and adopt Bitcoin, the more valuable it becomes. Think of it like this. When only a few people were using the internet, its value was limited. But as more people came online, the internet became more valuable for everyone. The same thing is happening with Bitcoin. As more people buy, hold, and use Bitcoin, the network grows stronger and more secure, making it more valuable for everyone involved. This growth is exponential, meaning that the earlier you get in, even with a small amount like 0.008 Bitcoin, the more potential upside you have as the network expands. We're seeing this network effect in action right now. As institutional investors, major companies, and even governments get involved in Bitcoin, they're validating its value and driving demand even higher. And as the network effect grows, your small fraction of Bitcoin becomes more valuable as part of this larger global system. Pro tip: don't wait for mass adoption to fully kick in. Start accumulating now so that when the network effect really takes off, your 0.008 Bitcoin will have already grown significantly in value. Now, let's talk about the long-term play. If you're holding 0.008 Bitcoin today, you're not just thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about where Bitcoin will be 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. Bitcoin is still in its early stages of adoption. Yes, it's grown massively in the past decade, but we're still a long way from its full potential. The thing is, Bitcoin rewards patience. Over the years, we've seen countless dips and corrections, but the long-term trend has been upward. The people who've benefited the most from Bitcoin's growth are the ones who held through the volatility and focused on the bigger picture. If you're holding 0.008 Bitcoin, think of it as a long-term investment. You might not see massive gains overnight, but over time, as Bitcoin becomes more integrated into the global financial system and as scarcity increases, the value of even a small amount like 0.008 Bitcoin could skyrocket. Pro tip: think of Bitcoin as a long-term store of value. Don't panic sell during short-term volatility. Stick to your strategy and let the value accumulate over time. So, there you have it. You only need 0.008 Bitcoin to be significant. With Bitcoin's scarcity, global adoption, the network effect, and its role as digital gold, even small amounts can make a big impact in the future. It's not about being a Bitcoin whale. It's about understanding the long-term value of this asset and positioning yourself for the future. If you're holding 0.008 Bitcoin, or you're working toward that goal, you're already ahead of the curve. As the world wakes up to Bitcoin's potential, your small fraction could become much more significant than you ever imagined. If you found this video helpful, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more crypto insights, and drop a comment below. How much BTC are you holding? Do you think 0.008 Bitcoin will be significant in the future? Let's get the conversation going. Until next time, stay informed, stay patient, and keep stacking those sats. Peace. If you haven't already done so, visit our website. You will find the link in the description.